You picked up your phone today before you even got out of bed. Maybe you told yourself it was just to check the time. Maybe you meant to look at one notification and then put it down. But you didn't. You never do. And the strange part is, you already knew that would happen. Some part of you knows every single time that you're going to pick it up, scroll longer than you planned, and set it down feeling vaguely worse than before. You know this, and you do it anyway. That's not a personal failing. That's not laziness or weak willpower or some character flaw you need to fix. What's happening inside your brain every time you reach for that screen is something far older, far stranger, and far more powerful than any app designer ever invented. It started long before smartphones, long before screens, long before cities or farming or fire. It started in a world that no longer exists, and your brain never got the memo that it's gone. Your brain is not a modern machine. It looks modern. It can do calculus and write poetry and remember your grandmother's birthday. But underneath all of that, buried deep beneath every sophisticated thought you've ever had, there is a much older system. Neuroscientists call it the dopaminergic reward pathway. You can just call it the part of your brain that keeps you alive. This system is ancient. It evolved in your ancestors over hundreds of thousands of years, in environments where survival was never guaranteed. And it had one job: to make you pay attention to anything that might matter. Food, danger, other people, movement in the trees. Every time your ancestors' brain detected something potentially important, it released a small hit of dopamine, not as a reward for finding the thing, but as a reward for noticing it, for looking, for seeking. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. That's a myth. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It's the feeling of maybe, the pull of what might be there. And it kept your ancestors alive because in their world, the thing that might be there could be a predator. Or it could be food. Or it could be another member of the tribe with news that changed everything. You had to check. You had to know. The ones who didn't feel that pull. The ones who could easily ignore a rustling in the bushes or a shadow moving at the edge of camp. They didn't survive long enough to become your ancestors. You are the descendant of the ones who could not stop checking. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan spent decades separating what dopamine actually does from what people assumed it did. His research revealed something startling. Dopamine doesn't make you feel pleasure when you get something. It makes you want to seek. It fires before the reward. It fires in the anticipation, in the searching, in the act of looking. The pleasure of getting something, that's a different system entirely. What dopamine does is keep you reaching. In an ancient forest, that's exactly what you need. Keep reaching. Keep looking. Never stop scanning. The moment you relax completely, the moment you assume everything is fine and there's nothing new to check, is the moment you die. Your phone is a forest. Not literally, but to the oldest parts of your brain, it might as well be. Every time you pick up your phone, your dopamine system wakes up. There might be something there. There might be a message, a notification, a piece of news, something someone said about you, something that changed while you weren't looking. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a rustling in the trees and a red badge on an app. Both of them say the same thing in the same ancient language. Check this. Something might matter here. And the worst part, the part that makes this nearly impossible to resist, is that sometimes there is something there. Sometimes there is a message. Sometimes the news did change. Sometimes someone did say something. And your brain logs every single one of those moments. Because unpredictable rewards are the most powerful rewards that exist. B.F. Skinner discovered this decades before smartphones existed. In his experiments with variable ratio reinforcement schedules, animals that received rewards unpredictably, not every time, not on a fixed schedule, but randomly, pressed their lever more often and more compulsively than animals that received a reward every single time. A guaranteed reward trains you to do something. An unpredictable reward makes you unable to stop. Your phone gives you unpredictable rewards. You don't get a message every time you check. You don't get important news every time you scroll. You get nothing most of the time. But sometimes you do, and your brain remembers every sometimes. It files it under. This matters. Keep checking. And so you do. This is not an accident. The engineers who built the systems you use every day understand this mechanism better than most neuroscientists. Sean Parker, one of the early architects of Facebook, said in a 2017 interview that the platform was explicitly designed to exploit a vulnerability in human psychology, to give you a little dopamine hit every once in a while because someone liked or commented on a photo or a post. He called it a social validation feedback loop. He said the inventors knew what they were doing, they did it anyway. The notification badge is a rustling in the trees. The infinite scroll is a path through a forest that never ends. The algorithm that always shows you something just interesting enough to keep you watching is a trail of breadcrumbs laid by people who know exactly which part of your brain they're feeding. But here's where it gets stranger, because it's not just about reward. Your phone has also colonized another ancient drive: the need to know where you stand. Your ancestors didn't live alone. They couldn't. A lone human on the African savanna was a dead human. Survival depended entirely on the group. And within any group, social position mattered enormously. Who trusted you? Who liked you? Who was talking about you? Who was forming alliances and who was being pushed to the edge? These were not trivial concerns. They were life and death. An ancestor who got cast out of the group, who stopped being liked, who lost social standing without noticing, died. Maybe slowly, maybe fast, but they died. So your brain evolved a system for constant social monitoring. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar at Oxford has studied the social brain for decades. His research suggests that the neocortex, the outer layer of your brain that handles complex thinking, expanded in humans largely because of the demands of tracking complex social relationships. Your brain got bigger, in part, to keep up with other people. That system runs continuously. You don't turn it off. And when you pick up your phone and check how many people liked what you posted, or read through the comments on something you said, or notice that someone you thought liked you hasn't messaged back, your social monitoring system is doing exactly what it evolved to do. It's scanning the group. It's checking your position. It's asking the question your ancestors had to ask every single day. Am I still in? Am I still safe? Does the tribe still want me here? The answer comes in numbers now. Likes, followers, views, replies. Your brain doesn't know these are numbers on a screen. It reads them as social signals. It reads them the way it reads a smile or a cold shoulder or a room that goes quiet when you walk in. Every notification is a data point about where you stand. And because where you stand once determined whether you lived or died, your brain treats it with complete seriousness. This is why negative comments hit harder than positive ones feel good. It's not weakness, it's ancient calibration. Psychologist Roy Baumeister's research on what he called the bad is stronger than good effect, showed that negative social information is processed more deeply and remembered longer than positive information across nearly every domain of human experience. One person being cold to you matters more than 5 people being warm. One critical comment matters more than 20 kind ones. Because in the ancestral environment, a threat was more immediately relevant than a reward. You could miss a meal and survive. You could not miss a predator. You could not miss the early warning signs that the group was turning against you. Your phone feeds all of this: the reward, the social monitoring, the anticipation, the fear of missing something. It has found every lever your ancient brain left exposed, and it pulls them all at once, thousands of times a day. And yet, you already know this in a way. You've felt it. The hollow feeling after an hour of scrolling, the mild anxiety when your phone is in another room, the way you reach for it mid-conversation, mid-meal, mid-thought, without deciding to. The way it pulls you away from the present moment with a force that feels almost physical. That force is real. It's just old. Much older than any screen. Psychologist Larry Rosen at California State University has studied what he calls technophrence, the way technology interrupts not just your attention, but your relationships, your memory, your sleep, and your sense of time. His research found that the mere presence of a phone on a table, even face down, even silent, reduces the quality of a conversation. Your brain is always allocating a small but real portion of its attention to the possibility that the phone might do something, that it might rustle, that it might matter. You can't fully turn that off. You can't unlearn 200,000 years of survival logic with an article or a screen time limit or a weekend digital detox. The system is deeper than habit. It's architecture. But knowing where the pull comes from changes something. Not everything, but something. Because when you pick up your phone tonight before you go to sleep, and you probably will, you'll know that the part of you reaching for it is not broken or undisciplined or uniquely weak. It's ancient. It's the same part that kept your ancestors scanning the dark at the edge of firelight for something that might matter. It's the part that made sure someone in your line survived long enough to become you. The forest is gone. The predators are gone. The tribe that decided your fate with a glance is gone. But the system that made you check and check and check again, that system is still here. It just has a screen now. And somewhere out there tonight, a notification badge turns red. And 200,000 years of survival instinct says, check it. Something might be there. You already know you're going to look. You always do. And now you know exactly why.